Okay, one person we know and love is Pete's little sister, Alison, and I think we've all either worked for Alison or we know Alison in some capacity. Pete, there seems to be a bit of a rumour in your family that you're tight, but we've got evidence to say that actually Alison and probably younger siblings in general tend to be the ones that benefit from various things. And what was the story about you and Elliot finding some money that you told me a few weeks ago?
Yeah, but I found the money.
Okay, so go on.
Well, we were at Judge Meadow School, and we'd just come back to go to the toilet because Elliot wanted to go to the toilet, and all of a sudden I found this £10 note, and I said to Elliot, "Oh, look down there, there's a £10 note." He said, "Oh, yeah." So he picked it up, and we proceeded on going back to the football game, and Elliot said, "Oh, we've found a £10 note." And Alison said, "Oh, Elliot, you've found a £10 note. Oh, that's good. Let's keep it."
And you were expecting, obviously, £5 each or something like that. So
I thought we might share it.
Well, you never know. Maybe she needed something. I mean, what do you think that extra £10 would have been spent on?
Some clothes for Alison,
I would think so. Definitely. Or, that thing where she goes and has her toes squeezed and then that's fixed your bad back.
What is that?
Reflexotherapy.
Oh, reflexology.
That's
it. Yeah.
Squeeze your toe.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
right. You've got a bad neck. Have your toe squeezed? No.
Oh.
What about the neck?
Even better, my sister
the-
is trained in things like that, and she knows something called Reiki. It sounds a little bit like
I've
the Force
heard
from
that.
Star Wars,
Yeah, I've heard
where
of
you
that.
just sort of cleanse people's auras with your hands.
That's
And
right.
you don't actually touch
You don't
them.
actually
Yeah.
touch
No, you
them.
don't
Right.
actually touch them.
To be honest, that's got to be almost fraudulent. Taking
Yes,
money off
absolutely.
people for that.
She knows it is as well.
That's like Mystic Meg drawing a salary.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's nothing bad there.
No.
There's no healing happening there.
No.
Tends to be younger people that tend to believe all this, in my experience.
Yeah.
And talking about young people and believing things, I'd quite like the shall remain nameless, but to just share a couple of things that students have mentioned to me. Start with the case that I heard recently. So this is an A-level contract law student. I'd stayed behind to speak to her after the session and see how she was doing, and she asked me had I heard about the man who had a kidney transplant, or I can't remember, maybe it was his a heart transplant, and they gave him the heart of a French person. And I said, well, what's the problem with that? And she said, well, I don't know how it works, but somehow when he came round, he started talking perfect French.
I knew you were going to say that.
And I thought, well, I knew that was coming at the time. And I thought, where's this? So I explained, the heart's just a pump, it just pumps the blood around the body. And she then said, but would he not get the urge to learn French? And I said, but only if he knew that it was a Frenchman's heart. He didn't discover later, why have I been speaking French? Christ, I've got a Frenchman's heart. Anyway, just a couple of weeks ago, a different student said that someone she knew had been having vivid dreams and sort of talking in the sleep. And I thought, well, there's nothing strange about that. They didn't know what she was talking. They couldn't make out the words. And I thought, right. Turns out someone heard, I don't know how, if they got an expert in, that was sort of bilingual, and they came in and said, oh, yeah, she's talking fluent Polish. Right? So I said, well, that wouldn't happen. But yet when she's awake, she can't speak a word of Polish. That's what this student is trying to is trying to pass off as a fact. And I said, no, that wouldn't happen. So I do think it is young people really that just believe everything they're told. And of course, the youngest person in this room is Angela, and we've had a case in point, haven't we, about preferring creationism, in other words, what the Bible says about how people came to be on this earth, than Darwin's theory of evolution, which has been proved very recently to, as far as we know, that is correct. Darwin was correct. Just remind us, what is creationism?
No, but Darwin doesn't explain where things came from the very, very beginnings of time, does he? Only so far as evolution.
But he wasn't looking at that.
He wasn't looking at that, and scientists have since theorised that all life evolved at the bottom of the ocean, where there are vents. So the underwater volcanoes.
Yeah.
And there are vents at the bottom of the seabed that are releasing gases, hot gases, all the time, and scientists believe that life evolved in that particular environment, because once the vents have released all of the gas, it leaves behind a particularly rich environment for organisms to thrive in, basically. So they think that we probably all started off at one time or another as one cell, or a collection of cells, and then we've just evolved in different directions since, and we all evolved in that one environment on the seabed. So we all started off under the sea.
But hold on, Kev, because we've got the theory that blows that out of the water. It's creationism.
So,
which is?
No, but it still doesn't make any sense, does it?
Well, we're about to find out exactly what does make sense in your brain. Isn't creationism where God made the world and it was all very nice, but there was no humans around? There was birds in the sky and fish in the sea. And you thought,
eventually.
I need something to rule over these creators.
Well,
before we even go any further, when did he create them?
Well, it was a couple of days before. He
It was within that week.
That's it. And he thought, well, hold on, I'm on holiday tomorrow. I need something to rule over these when I'm not here. So it doesn't create. What is it? How did he make it out of dust?
Yeah.
Right. And woman came around second.
Out of a rib.
A rib of what?
Of Adam.
So the first person was minus a rib. So was that passed on genetically to his sons?
Well, no, because originally he had one. It's like if you break your arm and then have a kid, they don't come out with a broken arm.
No, because that would be genetics working properly, wouldn't it? However, being made from dust, you don't argue. You've got no quarrel with. You've got no. We'll edit this.
That's an amazing word.
Quabble. Well, we've got quibble and squabble in one. I've got both. With
yours is much better because it describes what's happening right here and now.
We'll edit this. We'll definitely edit this. Right. So, being made a person with blood and a beating heart and a brain with electrical connections is out of dust, fine. Okay? You've got no problem with that. But hold on. We need women. There must have been women. So we'll make them out of a rib. How would that work?
In the same way as you make something out of dust.
Yeah, does it? Right? Which is what? How does that work?
In the same way as your little evolution thing.
Well, no, so it's not exactly the same.
I mean, coming out of a volcano under the sea.
Hold on.
I wasn't very accurate because I'm not an atheist myself.
Would you agree that there are minor differences between the two theories?
Little. There's some differences. Some.
Yeah, because the main ones being that you can test theories and question theories, and when there's an answer, that's probably a good theory. Your theory is no theory; it's something that people made up to explain the Earth.
Non-fiction, which means that it's fact.
Well, no, it's not fact, is it? It's what people. Lots
It's
of the stories were the best of people's knowledge at the time, because they didn't have technology like we have now. They made things up to explain things they couldn't explain. So, how did humans get to be here? Well, God must have made them. How? Out of dust, right? But now we know different, and we've known for 150 years.